Hey, all right, welcome to episode 280 of Joshua Kemble's live stream. It is the wee hours of the morning, and we're going to work on comic books. So I'm planning on working on Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And I'm really excited about getting to this next page. So for those of you who don't know, this is a Victorian historical fiction graphic novel that I'm doing for Turner Publishing that talks about the Brownings, the two famous Victorian poets. And so that's what I plan on working on today. And if you're just joining, who am I? So I've been an art director and for about 8 years. I've been a graphic designer and illustrator going on, let's see here, professionally for about 20 years. And when I'm not working on graphic design and illustration, I'm working on great comic books like Jacob's Apartment and Two Stories, which were both graphic novels that I hand illustrated and wrote. And both are kind of like in the indie comic realm. Jacob's Apartment is a story about two roommates that are in their early 20s, Jacob and Sarah, that are kind of polar opposites. Like Jacob is a Christian, Sarah is an atheist, and Jacob starts questioning his faith when his father is diagnosed with cancer. They're both kind of at this point in their lives where they're pursuing their careers and stuff like that. And as they are going through tumultuous like questioning of identity and stuff like that, they end up finding romance and love. And it's a doomed romance comic where dreams and reality interweave in the vein of Ghost World. If you put it in a blender with Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, that would be Jacob's Apartment. So that's one of my books, and you can pick that up at bookstores everywhere. And then my other is Two Stories, which tries to destigmatize hard conversations about mental illness. So that's our intro. I think I've got it down now. To where the music doesn't cut too much into what I'm saying, but we'll see. And I think there's a new thing that Scott Cirkland and Corey Kerr showed me on Artcasters the other day where I can do this. So if you are listening and you have access to the comments, let me know if you can hear this. I think that'll work. I think so I can do really stupid sound effects now, which I'm really excited about. And as I'm talking, I know it's just completely so now I can do like crickets if I get boring or if I tell a bad joke. Yay, exciting times. I know, I'm like graduating to Internet 1.0. So anyhow, we're going to work on some comics. I think I'll work for about an hour. Maybe two, and then I'm gonna crash and then go to work. It's like literally like 2:45 in the morning, so I'm having to squeeze in work time in like weird little areas of time where I can. So let's do it. And I think I'll have a Modelo, weirdly enough. So drinking at 2:30 in the morning. It's pretty good. So I've had some weird hours lately. Oh my goodness, my Wacom tablet is disconnected. So my wife's been out of town visiting family with my son, and so I've just been like in kind of bachelor mode with my work hours and stuff like that. What's shocking here? Okay, good. Okay. For a second, I thought I would have to like reconnect my Wacom tablet, which would have been really sad. I almost wonder if I have like a wah, wah, wah. There's got to be something like that. Let's find it. Well, there is like, okay, there's an error, but I'm trying to see if we have the. Oh, here's the sad trombone. There we go. Okay. Anyhow, let me know if you guys can hear those beautiful high-end special effects. And we're going to get into working. So I think this is going to be a really exciting page. The last page we were working on was so they're at Elizabeth and Robert have gone to a theater called the what was the theater name? I'm always going to forget the name of this theater, but it's like an old Italian theater that existed at the time. And we had to do like this kind of crowd scene where there's a magic show. They're watching a magician named Bosco. He does his performance, and then as they're walking out, an usher kind of approaches um, Elizabeth and Robert and says that Bosco wants to talk to them backstage. So that's kind of where we're at. So today, what I'm planning on doing is, first off, I'm going to make my list of what I need to break down from the script. And so we'll switch to our cam where we can kind of watch the working process. And then after that, I think that we're going to have to do a little bit of research as to like what like a magician's backstage would look like. I don't think it'll be too incredibly taxing because, again, this is like the 1850s that this takes place in. And most of these locations that I've had to draw from like page 1 to page 80 have all been actual locations that existed in history. And so they take like a long time to kind of like research to try to get accurate, even costumes and stuff like that. But the Bosco stuff backstage is pretty free. Like there's no reference of what the backstage would look like at that theater, unless I actually, my publisher had the budget to like fly me out there, which they don't. They're an indie comics publisher. So we're going to kind of freeform the backstage. I'm also guessing that the backstages have probably changed throughout the years over the last like 200 years. So we're going to do a little bit of research after we do a list breakdown from the script. And so let's get into our awesome art cam. So right here up above my where you're seeing my Wacom tablet, you're going to see me. You're going to see me working on a cheap Wacom tablet. And then on the right over here, I think it's your right, you're going to see the pages as I'm working on them. And so that's what we're going to do tonight or today or this morning. Okay, so this is 2 pages ago. I always, to keep my pages in sequence, for those of you who haven't done book design, it's like you basically have a right-facing page and a left-facing page, recto and verso. And the right-facing page usually has extra bleed around the edge. And then in the center where the gutter is, it's not going to have bleed. And then similarly, the left-facing page as well. So as you're kind of designing your pages, again, we're working on roughs, but if I can have the template, everything fit to template as best as possible, then that'll help me when it comes to the finals, making sure that I'm providing proper bleed and I'm setting things up so that when the book is done, it's close to finished. Like there's only a slight bit of book design we'll have to do, which is kind of exciting. Anyhow, so this is the previous page. So we'll go ahead and turn those off. We can turn off our guides right now. And then what I'm going to do is make a layer that says list. Okay. And then like once I've made that layer that says list, what I'm going to do is go to my manuscript and kind of break it down. So we had a really fun episode of Artcasters this Sunday. It was a little unusual. We did it on a Sunday evening, but it was fun. So I encourage you guys to check that out. It was mostly talking to Scott Cirkland, good friend and co-host of Artcasters, about his kind of relaunch on YouTube, and also getting into like some of the thinking behind his rebranding and stuff like that. But it also had like a monster truck rally theme. So we were doing like Sunday kind of stuff, which was really fun. Okay, enough said about that. So page 81. So down here's the section of the script that I'm going to be working on. Let me make sure that's okay. Good. It is live. That's good. Okay, so we're going to do the usher. So page 80, the usher had just invited them in. Page 81, I think this is going to be a larger framed page, but we'll have to kind of figure that out. And for anyone new to this channel too, I do a lot of like nuts and bolts stuff of like the process of creating a graphic novel. Like I just live stream as I'm doing the work that I'd be doing off stream anyway. And so there's some stuff that like a lot of cartoonists may not show that I tend to show during the process, which is like the entire thing. So from thumbnail, from like script breakdown, and then I talk through my thinking on it, and then we'll goof around and sometimes do like live Risk games or something like that because I'm obsessed with the game of Risk. Which, by the way, there's an update on that. I regained my master status, and I'm like about halfway to Grandmaster, which is kind of exciting on Risk. But anyhow, none of that needs to be said right now. What we need to do is just get to work, because this morning, again, I'd like to finish this up by, let's see, it's about 3. So I think it'd be fun to finish by 5. That's what I'd like to do. And then I can get like a little 1-hour power nap before work, with my wacky insomniac schedule. So that goes to what I was talking about with my wife being out of town. It's like when my wife and kid are gone, I tend to like default to like this weird insomniac mode that I've always had like my whole life, where I work like super weird hours. But that's just the nature of like how I am when my wife's not around. Which is, again, like it's kind of a awesome thing. Like it's good for creativity and for output, but it definitely isn't great for like balancing a social life. So again, if anybody thinks I'm kind of strange and antisocial, you've never met me before my wife. Okay, so let's get into this art stuff. Okay, so my point is, she's kind of like a superpower, a superpower in my life that makes me a better person. Wait. Let's see. There's got to be. Do they have like a violin? They have to have like a cheesy violin. Well, they have a rewind, so I can go, okay, let's do that take again. And then I think they do have like some really dramatic music, but whatever. Let's get to working. I can't play with a little soundboard instead of working. Although I do like this one. This one was hilarious to me, where it was like, it can kind of make it sound like this insane, dramatic story where you won't believe what's going to happen on this page. Anyhow, so that was kind of fun. Hopefully these things are working. We'll see if the little jingles are working. I guess since it's like a weird hour, let me know after the fact, you guys, if that works. Maybe in the comments section. Okay, let's get to work now. We got all our goofiness out. So the script says the usher opens the door. So now we have an action. So I'm going to write that down. So that's 1. Usher opens door. And then Bosco stands in front of a full-length mirror, removing his cape. This is going to be fun. So, 2, Bosco in front of full-length mirror. This is good, too, because this will help me kind of break down from the script what I need to have in the scene. A full-length mirror. There's going to be hat, a top hat, and gloves flung onto worn, comfortable couch or armchair. Room is crowded with trunks and paraphernalia. Okay. room crowded with trunks, paraphernalia, iron locks, rope, scarves, playing cards, makeup, and doves. Okay. So this should be really fun to draw. Caged doves. So I'm already kind of getting a nice visual picture of like, I think this will be like a really wide shot, maybe even a really big panel. So this, I want this to be a big establishing shot. In fact, it might be cool to maybe we have the usher opening the door and this Bosco in front of a four. There might be a way to kind of integrate those two into one shot. Maybe it's an overhead shot. We'll figure that out when we get to thumbnails. And again, this morning, like the goal here is to get in about an hour of work on the book. We may not actually finish the rough, but it's like the rule of working on these books where half the trick is you want to show up daily. And when you show up daily, magical things happen. That's the theory. It's worked in practice. It's how these things get done. Okay, 3. Bosco's face lights up at the sight of the Brownings, and he bows to Elizabeth reverently. So Bosco face lights up. I mean, so he's going to be smiling at Brownings. So this will probably be like a maybe an over shoulder shot from like from the Brownings perspective of Bosco kind of turning around from the mirror and smiling. 4 bows. Bosco bows to Elizabeth. With this text, with this dialogue. Signora Browning, our beloved poet of the Risorgimento, and Mr. Browning. And then 5 will be shakes Robert's hands. And we're going to do that and Mr. Browning, so we'll do dialogue. Cool, we have our script breakdown. Very easy, like not an easy page. It's going to be a lot of complicated stuff. I just realized like my face is getting blown out with the light. Let's see here. Hopefully that's a little better. Yeah, so like I think we have our list worked out, so that's good. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to do. Oh, that was unintentional. I accidentally hit the sound thing again because I was trying to kind of minimize it to make room. So maybe I can set up this for a search. Oh, let's pull this back up. Pull this bad boy back up. So I think we have a few things. I think I'm going to just pull a couple of these references that I'm finding. I actually found a few references by just looking for like magician dressing room. One of these is like, I think a Disney thing or something like that. But I like that. Like I'm kind of a fan of that giant wardrobe, like a Victorian magician's wardrobe kind of thing is interesting to me. So that kind of portable closet that, somebody on the road might be using is kind of interesting. Let's see what else we could find. There were a couple that just, I think, feel like the atmosphere I'm going to want. Let's continue, though. So this is a theater dressing room from Victorian era. And I think we're going to have like one or two more just to kind of get the vibe. Here's a Victorian theater dressing room illustration. This might even be better. That's pretty great. And I feel like there was one more that I came across that was pretty good. Now I don't know about that like light thing. I think we'll do a this is pretty good too. This has like a guillotine and some other props. So I think this will kind of get us into the zone a little bit for like just kind of getting a picture of like what kind of atmosphere we're going to want. And I think that's basically all we need for kind of our references of what that theater might look like. Okay. So I'm going to keep those. We'll make a little mood board. The thing I liked about this was the trunk, you know? The thing I like about the other one is the location of the playing cards. This feels more period accurate, so we might kind of use some of the furniture from here. Especially that chair. That chair is pretty great. And then this, I just kind of like the idea of the old Magic posters kind of around the wall. Okay, and we'll make these super small. Okay, so we have a rough idea of what our location is going to look like. Okay, now we just need to look at our previous thumbnail. I kind of print these out as I go. So this is our previous thumbnail. Our magician was, or our usher is basically in this. And we can kind of work from there. So I like the idea of fusing 1 and 2, where this can just be a really nice picture of Bosco. I feel like there's a lot of references we're going to need in here too. So that's Elizabeth's dress. I'm going to actually label this so I don't have to hunt for it. That's the dress that Elizabeth's going to be wearing that we've kind of established in the scenes before. This is just like reference for what Robert looks like, I think. Where did it go? Where did my Robert reference go? Why am I not seeing it? Where are you, Robert reference? There it is. Okay, so here's our Robert reference. This might be our reference for Elizabeth and what she'd look like. So that's going to be helpful. This is Robert's costume. Robert is wearing a fourth guy here's kind of that type of suit. Okay. So we got our references kind of pulled. Okay. Oh, I need to see Bosco. But there's some Bosco things I don't think I need to see that we had here. I think that was interesting because that kind of shows his cape, which we might have like a close-up of here. These are just like Bosco portraits. Here's Bosco's props. It's going to be good to have. Don't think we need this anymore. Bosco illusions. Okay. We had a really good image of Bosco that I wanted to pull up. That'll be a little bit helpful. I don't think... I kind of don't mind this either. Okay. But I just need that one image of Bosco. That's going to help me a lot. Let's see here. There was a really good photograph of Bosco. There we go. That's like Bosco from the era. Okay, so we have a nice little mind map of what we're drawing here. Just to get in the mood, like a mood board, basically. Okay. Did I somehow miss some of these? No, I think we got them all. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and save because this is page 81. And we're going to make this happen. Yes. All right. We're going to head into Bosco's... Bosco's room. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to overuse the heck out of those jingles. Okay, so we have a usher opening the door, and Bosco's in front of a full-length mirror. Okay, I like the idea of this being almost like a let's see the space. Okay, I like the idea of this being almost like an overhead shot. It's going to be interesting. So we'll have it like real wide. Okay, so the usher's opening the door. It's going to be the old-timey usher. But I kind of like the idea that like maybe he'll be maybe we'll do like overhead kind of style where he's going to be opening the door. And he has that like kind of usher's outfit on. Maybe here he can be kind of like just he's sort of ushering them in. Maybe we can do this like I don't think the usher's thing goes down that much. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be the usher opening the door. He's sort of establishing that they can come in. We'll have the doorway here. How tall did we make that? That seems about right. And then we'll have Elizabeth and Robert kind of walking in. So maybe we'll start with Robert. No, Robert wasn't that. Robert was awfully taller than him. Robert on the... Okay, Robert's on the right, so he will be the next person in the in this little thumbnail. So we're gonna have Robert kind of walking in. Okay. Something like that, where it'll be Robert. Robert's got that kind of Abe Lincoln beard. He's going to be wearing his hat here. And it's funny, Robert's in like full Abe Lincoln style Victorian garb here. And he's going to be with Elizabeth, who will have her arm around his arm. And let's see here. We did have some references, which will be helpful for... So it's like that. Okay. So he's going to have like kind of his little thing. What does the owl look like? Got it. Okay. And that's going to be closed. Nice wide brimmed. Maybe this arm can be more like this. And then he's got his kind of thing going there. And I like the idea of this being kind of more more in perspective a little bit, because we're going to do like a top-down view. So as much as that's like a little bit of a gimmick, that'll help. Maybe he's like stepping into the room. Okay. And we're going to have Elizabeth here. Elizabeth's going to be looking into the room. Kind of like, wow. Now, this is one of those things where I would usually kind of block out the general and get to the specific, but I think in this case, it's going to be easier to, since this is going to be a highly focused panel, to sort of work in little segments, make sure those are working, and then kind of size them accordingly. Because this is almost going to be, in my head, this is going to be a little bit like a isometric perspective. Not the same. It won't be isometric, but the way I usually work in isometric would be to build the different components and then place them in. And I think the interesting kind of angle we're going to be hitting here will be good for that. So Elizabeth's got this. The thing about the dresses of this era, too, is they're huge. So, okay. So they're kind of walking in, entering from the doorway. I think we need to have... I kind of want this a little better. The placement here. So I want to have him a little bit closer. And maybe actually in the background just a little bit more. So then we'll have the doorway. Let's see if this even works. So we'll have our kind of doorway. That's a really short entry for a doorway. But maybe we'll have like the doorway here. Again, this is just a little thumbnail thing. And that can be opening to Bosco, who will be... Did I do this on the list page? This should be on its own layer. This will be called rough. So there's the usher opening the door, but I want to kind of include... I think it would be cool to have this be a big panel where we could have kind of Bosco. Okay, let's get our Bosco image. Where are you? There it is. Let's move this up a little bit. And we can kind of move our rough over. I like the idea of like this being almost like Bosco is here. He is in front of a full-length mirror. Hat and gloves. Okay. So maybe Bosco can be here. And we could have the lighting be kind of dark on him. Okay, his top hat's going to be off, so that's good to know. So Bosco is going to be kind of in the foreground. What is he doing? I think he'll be like a kind of maybe removing or adjusting his tie. You could have kind of like this. And this will be the, you know, two-tailed magician's kind of flair. So I like the idea of Bosco being kind of almost like this. But then we can do like the mirror, which will be here, and I'm sure it's going to be like a cool Victorian mirror. Double check. Do any of these have like a interesting... Okay, I kind of like the stand for that, so maybe it could be something like that. But this can be like a mirror that's going to be, you know, a full length kind of mirror. And then we're going to have Bosco kind of reflected in it. That was a huge head that I'm drawing there. But again, this is just a thumbnail. I'm getting a little too tight for a thumbnail, to be honest, but, you know, that's kind of fun. So here's Bosco. He's going to be kind of reflected within the mirror. And this can be, you know, him sort of adjusting his lapel pin, or not his lapel. And then this is way too wide for a door, so we're going to shrink the door. And then we can have, just to kind of keep the perspective a little fun, then we can have the paraphernalia and stuff. So there's going to be like probably a lot of side stuff, like maybe there's a little like suitcase here with some stuff that'll be interesting. Let's do the, I like the idea of the seat too, that the seat that'll be here maybe. Or was that interesting? There was like this interesting Victorian seat that's in that one of those images. And maybe that could be like here. And that could be kind of one of those. How does that work? Okay, it's like kind of almost like bowl shaped type seat. This also has like an interesting space to it. So then that could have the top hat, you know, there could be on here his gloves. This is a thumbnail. So that'll be the top hat, the gloves. I like the idea of there being bird cages with doves. That's going to be really interesting. So again, we're just doing a thumbnail, but it's like I like the idea of that, those kind of being all throughout. It's kind of birds that are rocking. And then maybe we have like, maybe we could even have a bird cage kind of in the foreground. Because this is going to be a nice big panel. So maybe this could be like a real close up of the cage in the foreground. This is a very bad drawing of a cage, but again, this is a thumbnail. But I feel like that'll create like a little more mystery to it. I think Bosco is going to have playing cards. So we need like a little table here. So we'll do our table or our desk. I'll be where the desk kind of goes, something like that. Let's see here. Man, my perspective's all whack right now. Table will be like something like here, where we have that. Okay, and we can have like his table will have like the playing cards on it, deck of cards maybe. What else? Scarves. Scarves. Maybe there can be like a little, almost like a tack board. I like that idea. I actually like the idea of him having his own poster. You know? And maybe this one has him kind of making something disappear or something. Maybe it could be a bird. Okay. There's going to be like some stuff in the room. I like the idea of having some of this Victorian era trim to like the walls and stuff. So maybe it can be a little more ancient feeling. They definitely had like a lot of sort of filigree type stuff. I need to shorten his height a little bit. He's becoming monster tall comparatively. So I think that's going to be our thumbnail there for just panel 1. That starts it out okay. I think that works. Okay. So we have the usher opening the door, Bosco in front of a full-length mirror. And let's go ahead and mark those off. Let's see where we're at. We're almost at the hour mark. So we're going to go for probably another hour or so. Probably an hour. And see how far we get. We will probably only end up finishing the thumbnails, and that is okay. And then we'll work on roughs probably later tonight. Let's see here. If you guys are up and watching this, I hope you're having a good day. If you're watching this early in the morning, I hope you have a good day today. And let's see here. Okay, we have our Bosco thing. And okay, Bosco's out of the picture now. So this is Bosco lights up at the Brownings. Never mind, I needed Bosco there. So the next panel, or the next thumbnail, is going to be Bosco lighting up at the Brownings. And he's going to be saying, nice. So here we'll do an overhead shot of the Brownings, where it's almost going to have to be so maybe we actually think a wider shot would be good. Let's see here. Okay. Still digging this though. So okay, so this one will be Bosco's lighting up at the Brownings. So he's gonna be like turning and like I almost want it to be like a full shot of him. Okay. And we're gonna have Bosco's wild hair. And this will be him turning. So he's going to be kind of whoop, like his head will be kind of tilting around. Oh, he's supposed to be taking off his cape. That's right. Okay. So we'll have the cape here. And here I'm going to have his cape kind of in hand. So here he's holding his cape. And we're going to have his reflection here. This will be more of a straight on shot of him. Okay, in the mirror or whatever. And he's going to be looking at Elizabeth, who will be here in frame. So let's have Elizabeth here. So Elizabeth will be kind of in the foreground a little bit. And then maybe we can have just a little bit of Robert's. Hold on. I really like this angle a lot. And then we could have Robert's kind of hat here. Where Robert can be here. And his hair or whatever. But his hat will be kind of in the foreground, like the brim of his hat. And this will be him saying, okay, he's not bowing reverently yet. I actually really like that. I know it's a little cramped, but I kind of like that. I think I want to move Elizabeth a little bit closer to him. But I think that's kind of an exciting. Again, this is my thumb, and then we'll do a rough from there. So then we'll have this is going to be really interesting to make work. Maybe here we can actually make it a little bit less, because we still have to fit in 3 panels. So we did, actually we only need 2 more panels. So B, so we only need 2 more panels. We can make this work. Let's see. Okay. We're almost through the thumbnails, but we're at the hour mark. So as usual, we're going to play a trailer. This time, I think we'll play Jim Lujan's Wordzoid trailer. So I will be right back, and we're probably going to go for another 30 minutes or so. So maybe we finish the thumbnail. I should probably zoom in so you guys can actually see this too. Very sloppy, loose sketch, but you know, that's the whole point of a thumbnail. All right, let's play Wordzoid.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm going to have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm going to go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon? Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won. Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish.
I was told I was gonna get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
Nice. All right, welcome back to Joshua Kemble's live stream, episode 280. Right now we're working on thumbnails for page 81 of Not Death But Love, the Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And we're probably just going to call it quits after the thumbnail and then work on the roughs later in the day when I get home from work. So here we go. But thanks for anybody who's tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it. And here it is. Let's get back to it. Okay. We're going to get back to it. Now with terrible, amazing little stupid sound effects. I love it. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to work on this magician's backstage room, which is kind of fun. This is like the fun stuff. It's going to be so fun to pencil this. I can't wait. Okay. Now I need to kind of move my little Bosco reference here down. These are going to be super helpful when it comes to the final. But let's see here. Where are you, Bosco? There you are, sir. Okay. So we just need Bosco's face lights up at the Brownings. We have that. This is awesome. We're making good progress. It's I will tell you guys, with art and with comics and stuff like that, you always feel slightly rewarded for showing up. Like today, or I should say last night, the day just got away from me. Like I was pretty exhausted when I got home from work, and then woke up a little later than I wanted to. And the fact that I'm able to kind of squeeze in a couple hours to kind of work on my comic is, I think, awesome. And the fact that we're making, even if it's like a little thumbnail, that's one less thing I have to do for this book. And so now it's getting to that fun, rewarding stage where I'm excited about the thumbnail. And so from the thumbnail, I'll be really excited about the rough. Okay, this is going to be him bowing to Elizabeth with... Okay, that I think could be like a nice side shot of him saying... So him bowing. I love these kind of almost vaudevillian things. Or we can have him... bowing and saying... That's too small. Okay, let's actually draw it. That might be helpful. So he's going to be bowing. And kind of like he's got his mustache. Again, this is just a thumbnail, but again, like the more kind of I have worked out here, the easier it's going to be when it comes to roughs. So this is going to be him bowing quite ridiculously. There we go. And his arm, let's see. His arm should be back. Like this. Like this. And we're going to have his coattails here. And I like the idea of his... He should be kind of looking at her. So mustache, crazy hair. Okay, I think that gets the gesture across. These are thumbnails, not roughs. Why am I? Okay, so that's going to be him bowing. That's my little sketch of him bowing, and then we can do like Elizabeth. Kind of, I like the idea of her almost like covering her mouth, maybe a little bit. So she's gonna have her dress, which we have there. So that's got like a little thing. And her hair is gonna be here. It's very quick. And then she's got her kind of dress thing. I like the idea of her leaning back almost like she's, she's thankful that she's kind of flattered that this great magician is excited about meeting her. You have to remember too, at this time, Elizabeth Barrett Browning is a very well known poet in England. It's not like she's some starving artist at the time who like nobody knew of. Like she was kind of exploding in popularity. I think between the two of them, I think she might have actually been better known than Robert at this point. Let's see here. And both were pretty well known in like, literary circles and stuff. So this is going to be him saying, and Mr. Browning. So Mr. Browning will be here. I like him kind of maybe his head's down a little bit and he's smiling. Yeah, that actually works. Her arms kind of around Robert's. Maybe we'll have his hand on his hat. So Robert's hand is going to be on his hat. He's going to be standing here. Let's make this a little more fun. Okay. And then we're going to do our his mirror thing is here. The door is going to be here. Was there anything in between? There was. Well, maybe we didn't draw the things between. So here I want it to be like bird cages. Just for fun, maybe we have a guillotine. Why not? Maybe we have like a guillotine prop. Just some like crazy stuff like shackles, just magician stuff, And then this will be him saying, Signora Browning, our beloved poet of Risorgimento, and Mr. Browning. Sorry, I don't speak Italian, so. But that'll be like him saying that here. And this one's him shaking Robert's hand. And then we might be done with our thumbnail, which is kind of exciting. So he's got his wild hair, mustache. shaking Robert's hand. He should be almost stepping forward. Like this will be the back leg, and then this could be him. Let's see. That's a good. There we go. And then we'll have Robert kind of here. Let's have his arm a little lower to accommodate for Robert. So then Robert's hand will be here. Robert will be Robert's shaking with his. Oh, this is perfect. So he's going to be shaking with his right arm. We're going to switch hands here. So that's actually going to be his back, his other. Okay, got it. This is just to like make the sequence of Robert taking off his hat a little better. So there we go. So now we're going to have Robert with his hat now here. So Robert's a polite man. He's taking his hat off. And that'll be Robert kind of greeting him. And Elizabeth can be here smiling. I like this as like almost like a little animated sequence, you know. I'm trying to think of cartoonists that do that really well. I mean, Ware definitely comes to mind, but Roger Langridge is a cartoonist that I like that does a lot of cartooning where it's like the you're almost like watching a vaudeville play. So you're seeing a lot of sequences almost snapshotted from like the side, little action sequences and stuff. So that'll be the bird cage, and then this will be the thing. And I think that'll do it. I mean, I think we did our thumbnail. And so, you know, not super exciting. I know, like we didn't get the full rough done, but I feel like we got a lot of the work for the final rough here. And that's going to be awesome too. But we did finish the thumbnail for page 81. And now we just need to crunch it. We need to warp it. Let's see. Somehow I ended up on the list layer. There we go. Okay. So then we're going to merge this down. And I think we might finish at the 4 o'clock mark, which is kind of what I was hoping. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just so you guys can kind of see what we were working on. So the first shot is going to be like an overhead shot of them walking into the magician's room. Second one will be an over shoulder shot from kind of Elizabeth and Robert of Bosco kind of turning and smiling. The fourth panel is basically Bosco bowing and them kind of smiling. And then the fifth panel is them shaking hands. And so there we go. We have our real quick thumbnail. Not so quick. Again, I'm not the quickest artist in the world, but we do have something to work on tonight, and so I'm very excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. I'll go ahead and merge this down. And then we'll just call this thumb. I called it rough for some reason, but it should be a thumbnail. That was a bit tighter of a thumbnail than I usually would do for a thumbnail, but that's going to do it. So thank you to everybody who tuned into this. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys haven't, hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notifications when we're about to go live. Sometimes I do these streams at like really strange hours, and sometimes I don't. But if you want to know when these are about to go live or something like that, then make sure you've hit that bell so you get notifications when we're about to go live. And I will see you guys on the next live stream. Thanks again. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'm really excited. Make sure you're subscribed, because we're actually going to get into roughing out this page tonight. So have a good one, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Bye. Oh, wait, let's do something real fun here. Okay. Let's do this. There's a speech thing.
Nice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished it. We're rallying. We're getting ready. We're going to make this happen. We have finished the thumbnail, and we're going to make the rough happen. That's exciting.
Okay, I think that was some goofiness. I will see you guys on the next stream. I really appreciate you guys, and have a good day. Bye.